Captain Hunzel watched the giant alien ship floating in space near Titan. The dark metal ship was 15 kilometers long, bigger than any human ship ever built. His crew on the bridge of the UES Defiance worked quietly, but he could feel their fear. "Captain, we have an incoming message," said Dayun from her communication station. Her voice was calm, but her hands shook slightly. The screen in front of them lit up with a strange figure. The alien was tall and thin, with long arms and pale skin that looked almost see-through. When it spoke, its voice was cold and commanding. "I am Commander Veltar of the Catharian Empire. We have studied your species. You will serve us now. Give us all your weapons and ships. You have 30 days to surrender. If you obey, you will live as our servants. If you fight us, we will kill every human in the galaxy." The message ended. The bridge went silent. Everyone stared at the empty screen. Admiral Minho's voice came through the radio from Earth. "Captain Hansel, come home right now. The World Council is meeting. This is an emergency." Hansel ordered his ship to return to Earth. As they flew through space, he thought about the aliens' words. Kithians talked like they had never lost a war. They would learn they were wrong. On Earth, President Kyung-soo stood in front of the World Council. Leaders from every country sat around the big table. Reports were coming in from all over the galaxy about the Catharian Empire. General Taman stood up with a thick folder in his hands. His old face looked worried. They have done this many times before. The Catharians control 40 star systems. They always do the same thing. First, they show their big ships to scare people. Then they ask for surrender. Every species they have fought gave up quickly. Dr. So-young, a scientist who studied aliens, walked to the front of the room. "I have been reading their messages. The Catharians think war should be clean and easy. They try not to lose many of their own soldiers. They have never fought people like us. They do not know that humans will die for freedom." The room filled with angry voices as everyone started talking at once. Some people wanted to surrender. They said humanity could not win against such a powerful empire. Others wanted to fight no matter what happened. President Kyung-soo raised his hand. The room became quiet. "Listen to me. We have a simple choice. We can give up and live as slaves, or we can fight and maybe die as free people. I know what I choose." One by one, each leader voted. Every single person chose to fight. In his private office later, President Kun-so met with his top military officers. The room was dark, except for the light from computer screens showing star maps. "How long do we really have?" asked General Taman. 30 days until they expect our answer," replied the president. "But they will probably attack before then. We need to prepare for war right now." Admiral Minho pointed to the star map. "Our outer colonies are in danger. The mining stations, the farming planets, the research bases. We cannot protect them all." Dr. So-young opened her laptop and showed them pictures of Catharian weapons. "Their ships are very advanced. They can destroy planets. But they have one weakness. They think like a machine. They follow the same plan every time because it has always worked." "What do you mean?" asked the president. "They expect us to fight like the other species they conquered. Big ship battles in space, formal surrender when we start losing. They do not expect humans to fight dirty." General Taman smiled for the first time that day. "Then we will not fight fair. We will fight like humans." The president stood up and walked to the window. Outside, he could see the lights of the city. Millions of people going about their normal lives, not knowing that aliens wanted to make them slaves. "Send word to all colonies," he said. "Every human settlement needs to prepare for war, not just our soldiers, but everyone. Farmers, miners, scientists, children, everyone fights." "Sir," said Admiral Minho, "the people will be scared. Many will want to surrender when they see the Catharian ships." President Kyung-soo turned around. His eyes were hard as steel. "Then we will show them what humans can do when we refuse to give up. We will teach the Catharians that they made a mistake when they threatened our species." And the officers left to prepare for war. President Kyung-soo stood alone in his office. He looked at a picture on his desk of his family. His wife and children would face slavery or death if humanity lost this war. He picked up his phone and called his military commanders around the world. "Begin Operation Human Spirit. Every weapon, every ship, every person. We're going to show these aliens what it means to fight humanity. In space, the Catherian ships waited. Commander Veltar was confident. He had conquered 17 species using the same methods. Humans would be number 18. Had no idea that he was about to face an enemy unlike any his empire had ever encountered. The war was about to begin. 20-8 days passed quickly. Commander Veltar sat in his command chair, waiting for the human surrender message. Instead, every screen in his fleet lit up at the same time. President Kyungsu's face appeared on all of them. To the Catherian Empire, we say no. Humanity will not surrender. We will not bow down to you. We will not give up. If you want our planets, you will have to fight for them. But remember this, every step you take toward Earth will cost you. You will pay with your blood. The message ended. Veltar's mouth parts clicked together in what his species did when they found something funny, just like all the others. They think they can scare us with brave words. He turned to his officers. Send the first attack fleet to their outer colonies. Use our normal battle plan. This will be over soon. The Catherian ships moved toward the human mining colony called New Busan. Veltar expected the humans to put up a small fight and then surrender. That was what always happened. But when the alien ships arrived, something was wrong. The space around the colony was full of hidden explosives. The humans had turned their mining tools into weapons. Industrial cutting lasers that could slice through rock now cut through Catherian ships. Mining charges that blasted apart asteroids now destroyed alien landing craft. Colonel Dong Hyen commanded the human defense from a bunker buried deep underground. He spoke to his fighters through radio. Listen to me. We do not need to win this battle. We just need to hurt them badly, make them pay for every meter of ground. The battle went on for 6 long days. Catherian soldiers died in the hundreds. As they tried to take the colony, the humans fought from every building, every tunnel, every hiding place. When the aliens finally captured the colony, they found it completely empty. The humans had fought until the last moment, then blown up everything valuable and escaped through secret tunnels. The Catherians had won, but they had lost more soldiers than in their last 5 wars combined. The same thing happened at other human colonies. On the farming world of New Seoul, a woman named Yoonji had been a simple farmer before the war. Now she led a group of fighters who used the planet itself as a weapon. Before they left, the humans poisoned all the crops so the aliens could not eat them. They put bombs in the water systems. They even turned the farm animals into weapons by making them sick with diseases that would spread to the aliens. Commander Veltar read the battle reports with growing anger. His forces had taken 12 human colonies, but the cost was terrible. He had lost more ships and soldiers than in any war in Catherian history. This makes no sense, he said to his aide Mordok. The humans are using tactics that no civilized species would ever use. They fight like wild animals. Mordok looked nervous as he gave his report. Sir, our spies say the humans are leaving their outer planets. They're moving all their forces back to protect their home worlds. Veltar's eyes became narrow and angry. They're trying to trick us. They want us to follow them so they can attack us all at once. It does not matter. Send the 2nd and 3rd fleets. If they want to make their last fight at Earth, we will. Give them what they want. But Commander Veltar was wrong about what the humans were really doing. They were not just running away to make a trap. They were buying something much more valuable: time. While the Catherians were busy fighting at the outer colonies, human scientists on Earth were working day and night. In secret laboratories hidden deep underground, they were building weapons that no alien species had ever imagined. Dr. Jahoon had not slept in 3 days. He worked with a team of the smartest people on Earth. They were not just building bigger guns or faster ships. They were creating something that would change the war completely. How much more time do we need? Asked General Taman during a secret meeting. 6 more weeks, replied Dr. Jihoon. Maybe 8. The math is very complicated, but we are close to something that will shock the aliens. President Kung Su looked at the star map showing Catherian ships moving toward Earth. The outer colonies bought us almost 2 months. Those brave people died to give us this chance. At the mining colony of New Busan, The last human message had been carved into the wall of the command bunker. The Catherians found it when they finally took the base. It said, "We were miners, not soldiers, but we fought like warriors. Earth remembers." Similar messages were found at every human colony. The aliens began to understand that they were not fighting an army. They were fighting an entire species that refused to give up. Veltar studied the tactical reports from his commanders. Every battle had been harder than expected. The humans used weapons and tactics that seemed impossible. They turned farming equipment into cannons. They used mining explosives like missiles, even weaponized their own buildings. "Sir," said Morduk, "perhaps we should try to negotiate with them, offer them better terms." Veltar's mandibles clicked angrily. "Never. We are the Catherian Empire, but we do not negotiate with primitive species. When we reach Earth, we will show them what real power looks like." The alien commander had no idea that Earth was preparing to show him something he had never seen before. 3 months after the aliens first threatened Earth, Commander Veltar finally arrived at the human homeworld. His massive fleet of over 300 ships surrounded the blue planet like a metal cloud. Each ship was bigger and more powerful than anything humans had ever built. Veltar stood on his command deck looking at Earth through the main viewing screen. The planet looked so small and helpless surrounded by his ships. He smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Send the surrender demand," he ordered his communications officer. "Tell them they have 1 hour to give up when they see our fleet. They will understand they cannot win." But instead of a surrender message, something unexpected happened. Human ships suddenly appeared from behind Earth's moon. Admiral Baror led the attack with her 7th Fleet, catching the aliens completely by surprise. "All ships, this is Admiral Biora." Her voice rang out across the human fleet radio. "Today we show these invaders what happens when you threaten humanity. Formation Delta 7. No retreat, no surrender." The human ships charged straight at the alien fleet. There were only 60 human ships against 300 alien vessels. But the humans attacked like they had nothing to lose. Captain Sung Ho commanded the destroyer Inchin. His ship was smaller and weaker than the alien cruisers, but when enemy fire damaged his engines and weapons, he made a decision that shocked everyone watching. "All crew to escape pods," he ordered his men. "I am staying with the ship." "Captain, what are you doing?" asked his first officer. "Something the aliens will never expect," Sunjo replied. He turned his damaged ship toward the largest enemy cruiser and pushed the engines to maximum power. The Inchin crashed into the alien ship at full speed. Both vessels exploded in a ball of fire that lit up space for thousands of kilometers. But before the explosion, Sung Ho sent one last message that every human ship heard. For Earth. The battle continued for 18 long hours. Human ships fought like wild animals using tactics the aliens had never seen, and their weapons were damaged. They rammed enemy ships. When their ships were dying, they used them as bombs. The humans fought until every ship was destroyed or too damaged to continue. When the battle ended, both fleets were almost completely destroyed. The space around Earth was filled with the wreckage of hundreds of ships. But the message was clear. Humans would never surrender. Commander Veltar looked at the battle reports with growing anger. He had lost over half his fleet fighting ships that should have been easy to destroy. The humans had fought like they were crazy, using their own ships as weapons. "This is impossible," he said to his officers. "No species fights like this. They are supposed to surrender when they see they cannot win." His aide Morduk stepped forward nervously. "Sir, what are your orders? Should we call for more ships?" Veltar's eyes burned with rage. "No. We will teach them what happens when they defy the Catherian Empire. Activate the planetary devastation protocol. Target their colony worlds." The planet killer weapons were the most feared weapons in the Catherian arsenal. Each one could turn an entire world into melted rock in seconds. Veltar chose 3 human colonies that were home to over 2 million people. "Fire," he commanded. The weapons fired beams of pure energy across space. The human colonies of New Tokyo, New Berlin, and New Mumbai were destroyed in seconds. Entire planets became balls of molten metal and rock. 2 million men, women, and children died before they even knew what was happening. Veltar smiled as he watched the planets burn. Send this footage to Earth. Tell them this is what happens when they resist us. Surrender now, or watch more worlds die. But instead of surrender, Veltar received another message from Earth. This time, it was not a military officer or a politician. It was a scientist named Dr. G. Hoon. The man on the screen looked tired, like he had not slept in weeks. But his eyes were bright with intelligence and something else, anger. Commander Veltar, Dr. G. Hoon began, you have just made the biggest mistake in your species' history. You thought you were fighting soldiers. You were wrong. You have been fighting scientists, engineers, and inventors. While you were busy conquering our outer colonies, we were building something new. The transmission changed to show the inside of a human laboratory. Veltar saw scientists working with equipment he did not recognize. Complex machines hummed with power he had never seen before. You wanted to show us your planet-killer weapons. Dr. Ji Hoon continued. Now we will show you ours. But our weapons do not just destroy planets. They destroy entire star systems. The screen showed a test firing of the human weapon. Veltar watched in horror as it hit a star and caused it to collapse. The star became a black hole that sucked in every planet in the system. Call it stellar. Collapse technology, Dr. Ji Hoon explained. One weapon can destroy everything in a solar system. You've killed 2 million of our people. We can kill billions of yours with a single shot. Dr. Ji Hoon leaned closer to the camera. You wanted war. Commander Veltar, and now you will have it. But this will not be the kind of war you are used to. This will be total war, and we are very good at it. The transmission ended, leaving Veltar staring at a blank screen. For the first time in his long military career, the alien commander felt real fear. It happened on a Tuesday. The first Catherian star system died that day, Admiral. Jasoon led a small fleet of 12 human ships toward the alien mining system called Velkorian. The system had 5 planets and over 2 billion Catherian workers. It also had something the humans needed, a star that could be destroyed. Target locked, reported Captain Eugen from her science ship Newton. I have finished studying the star. It will work perfectly for our weapon. The human weapon was simple, but terrible. It shot special particles at a star that made the star's center unstable. The star would then collapse and turn into a black hole. Everything in the system, planets, ships, people, would be sucked in and destroyed. All ships move back to safe distance, Admiral Jae-sung ordered. Prepare to fire the stellar collapse weapon. The Catherian defenders in the system had no idea what was about to happen. They thought the small human fleet was there for a normal attack. Their ships moved to fight the humans like they had done many times before, but Admiral Jae-sung was not there to fight ships. He was there to kill a star. Fire, he commanded. The weapon shot invisible particles at the star. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The Catherian ships continued their attack. Then the star began to change. The star's light started to flicker. Deep inside its core, the nuclear reactions that had burned for billions of years began to fail. The star was dying. Commander Velkorian, leader of the system's defense, watched his instruments with growing fear. What is happening to our star? He demanded from his scientists. Unknown, sir, came the terrified reply. The star is collapsing. All our planets will be destroyed. Velkorian tried to send a message to the main Catherian fleet, but it was too late. The star collapsed into a black hole in just 6 hours. The gravitational pull was so strong that light itself could not escape. Every planet was pulled into the black hole. Every ship, every space station, every living being in the system died in seconds. 2 billion Catherians simply disappeared. Emperor Zalthor sat on his golden throne on the Catherian homeworld when the news arrived. His throne room was filled with generals and advisors, all standing in shocked silence. General Carvin spoke first, his voice barely a whisper. Impossible. No species has ever learned to destroy stars. It should take thousands of years to develop such technology. The Emperor's hands gripped his throne so hard his knuckles turned white. How could primitive humans create such a weapon? So quickly? Before anyone could answer, the main screen in the throne room lit up. President Kyumsu appeared, surrounded by Earth's military leaders. His face looked calm, but his eyes were cold as ice. Emperor Zalthor, the human leader began, 3 months ago, you gave us a choice: surrender or die. Today, I give you the same choice. You destroyed 3 of our colonies and killed 2 million humans. We have destroyed one of your star systems and killed 2 billion Catherians. The Emperor stood up from his throne, his whole body shaking with rage. You monsters. You killed billions of innocent people. President Kyungsu's expression did not change. You started this war by threatening to kill every human in the galaxy. You killed our people first. We're simply better at killing than you are. The human leader stepped closer to the camera. The math is simple, Emperor. But you cannot win this trade. Every colony you destroy, we will answer by destroying an entire star system. You have 48 hours to order all your fleets to leave human space. For every hour you wait, another of your star systems will die. The transmission ended. The throne room fell silent, except for the sound of the Emperor's heavy breathing. General Carvin looked around at the other advisors. All of them looked terrified. My lord, what are your orders? Emperor Zalthor walked to the great window that looked out over his capital city. Millions of his people lived in the towers and buildings below. For 1,000 years, the Catherian Empire had conquered other species with overwhelming force. No one had ever fought back like this. How many star systems do we control? He asked quietly. 412, my lord, replied his aide. And how many stellar collapse weapons do the humans have? General Carvon checked his reports. Unknown, sir. But they showed footage of many weapons being built in their laboratories. Emperor closed his eyes. His empire had been built over centuries of careful conquest. He had inherited a vast domain from his fathers and their fathers before them. Now he faced a choice: continue the war and watch his empire burn, or surrender. To a species they had tried to enslave, send a message to Commander Veltar, he ordered.
Tell him to. Oh.
To begin discussions with the humans about ending hostilities. General Carvin stepped forward. Sir, are you ordering a surrender? Emperor Zalthor turned away from the window. For the first time in his long life, he looked defeated. I am ordering survival, General. We are not fighting soldiers anymore. We are fighting monsters who can destroy stars. Monsters always win. In the depths of space, more human ships moved toward other Catherian systems. Each carried the same terrible weapon that had destroyed Valkorion. The war was about to take a very different turn. 2 years had passed since the aliens first threatened Earth. Now Ambassador Hyjin walked through the broken streets of what used to be the Catherian capital city. The tall alien buildings were damaged from the war, but humans were already fixing them. The Catherian Empire was gone. After humans destroyed 5 more star systems, the aliens surrendered completely. Now humans controlled everything the Catherians used to own. Hyjin watched human workers and alien citizens working together to rebuild the city. The aliens looked scared but tried to be helpful. They had learned what happened to species that fought against humanity. General Wansik sat in his new office, reading reports from across the galaxy. He was now the military governor of all former Catherian space. The job was easier than he expected because no one dared to fight back. Sir, said his assistant Colonel Inho, we have more reports from the outer systems. What now? Asked Wansik.
3.
More alien species found us this week. All of them immediately asked to surrender and serve humanity. They heard what happened to the Catherians. Wansik smiled.
Oh.
The news was always the same these days. Every alien species that learned about humanity's weapons chose to give up without fighting. Word had spread across the galaxy. Humans could destroy entire star systems. Dr. Sunmi entered the office carrying a folder of secret reports. She was now in charge of studying all alien species to make sure they stayed loyal to humanity. General, we intercepted some concerning messages, she said. The Drakmari Confederation is talking about attacking us before we get too powerful. Wansik laughed. Let them try. We have 47 stellar collapse weapons ready to fire. We do not even need permission from Earth to use them anymore. He stood up and walked to the window. Outside, he could see alien workers building new human military bases. The galaxy is learning a simple truth. There are only two kinds of species now, those who serve humanity and those who are dead. Ambassador Haijin received a call on her communication device. It was Colonel Inho with the daily report from Earth. How are things in the territories? She asked. Perfect, ma'am. All alien populations are following our rules. No rebellions, no protests, no problems. They are even working harder than we expected. The former Catherian worlds are sending lots of resources back to Earth. What the colonel did not say was that there was no longer any need for a large military. Every alien species was too frightened to fight. Humanity's reputation was so terrible that species surrendered as soon as they heard humans were coming in the center of the alien capital. A large screen played the same message every day. It was President Kyungsu's final speech to all conquered territories. You came to us with threats of slavery and death, his image said to crowds of watching aliens. You promised to destroy us if we resisted. Instead, you taught us something important. In this galaxy, only one rule matters. The strong survive and the weak serve. We are strong, you are weak. Welcome to humanity's galaxy, the aliens watching. The screen kept their heads down. They had learned not to show any anger or resistance. Humans were always watching. Far out in space, human construction teams worked day and night building monitoring stations. These stations watched every alien world to make sure no one was planning rebellion. The message was clear. Humanity was always watching. It's always ready to destroy anyone who caused trouble. On Earth, children learned new history lessons in school. They learned how humanity went from a single planet to rulers of hundreds of worlds. In just 2 years, the textbooks called it the Great Liberation, the war that freed humanity from the threat of alien conquest. But the aliens had a different name for it. In their secret whispers, they called it the Great Burning, the war that taught the galaxy to fear the humans. Commander Veltar, the alien who had first threatened Earth, was now a prisoner on a human research station. Scientists studied him. To learn more about alien psychology, he spent his days answering questions about how other species thought and fought. Do you regret starting the war? Dr. Sunmi asked him during one interview. Veltar's alien eyes looked tired and defeated. We thought you were just another primitive species. We had conquered 17 others using the same methods. But you do not fight like other species. You fight like you want to destroy everything. We fight to win, Dr. Sunmi replied simply. No, Veltar said quietly. Other species fight to win. You fight to make sure your enemies can never fight again. That is why you will rule the galaxy. Forever. In the outer reaches of space, alien species that had not yet met humans told stories about the Starkillers. The terrifying humans who could destroy entire solar systems. Parents scared their children with tales of what happened to those who opposed Earth. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity had asked for peace and been offered war. In return, they had given their enemies something much worse than defeat. They had given them extinction. The war was over. Humanity had won. And everyone in the galaxy would remember that forever.